Summary of Chapter 9, Building Momentum, the 26th of March 1940 to July 1942. 1. Statement of the 1st of April 1940 on the Lahore Resolution in Delhi. Jinnah stated, "The question for the Muslim minorities in Hindu India is whether the entire Muslim India of 90 million should be subjected to a Hindu majority Raj or whether at least 60 million of Muslims residing in areas where they form a majority should have their own homeland." He assured Sikhs that under Muslim rule, they stood to gain more than they could ever be in a united India or under one central government. Jinnah discarded Congress's claims of shared Indian civilization. 2. The Azad Muslim Conference in Delhi opposed Jinnah and Muslim League. The Sindhi leader Allah Bash Sumro was able to mobilize delegates representing most Muslims of India against partition. The patriotic Muslim organizations met in April 1940. These included All India Jamiat Ulema-e-Hind, All India Momin Conference, All India Majlis Ar, All India Shia Conference, Khudai Khidmatgars, Bengal Krishak Praja Party, All India Muslim Parliamentary Board, Anyam-e-Watan Baluchistan, All India Muslim Majlis and the Jamiat Ali Hadith. Sumro and other speakers challenged the two-nation theory and lamented that British were using Muslim League to prevent liberation of India as one nation and one state. Syed Abul Ala Maududi's chief opposition to Pakistan was that it was being projected as a national state and not an Islamic state. 3. British government's offer and Jinnah's response. On the 8th of August 1940, the new Secretary of State Lord Amory announced that granting Dominion status remained the ultimate intention of the government. Jinnah stated in September 1940 that Muslims will sacrifice everything for the British in World War II. If the British government courageously give India's 90 million Muslims immediate promise that after the war it will support division of India into two states, Muslims and Hindus. At another occasion, he stated, "In the immediate present the Muslims of India were prepared to shed the last drop of their blood and part with their last penny to assist Great Britain in the present war." Jinnah demanded a clear commitment from the Viceroy Linlithgow on the Pakistan scheme but could not procure one in categorical terms. On the 23rd of October 1941, Dawn, a newspaper in English, was established in Delhi as a mouthpiece of Muslim League. On the 24th of December, Jinnah lashed out at HMG and Viceroy Linlithgow for ignoring the hand of friendship offered by Muslim League while continuing to woo Congress. 4. Pakistan was not merely a bargaining chip for Jinnah. Speaking to the Delhi Muslim Students Federation, Jinnah stated, "Pakistan was our goal today, for which the Muslims of India will live for and if necessary die for. It is not a counter for bargaining." Jinnah stated in an interview to United Press, "I am sure Hindu India will find Muslim India not only friendly but will defend India against foreign invasion. Northwest Muslim independent states should be counted as India's outposts on the frontier." Jinnah told a London newspaper, "The British government, the Parliament and the British public would make the greatest mistake if they were carried away by the Congress propaganda that the demand of the Muslim India for Pakistan was merely put forward for bargaining." At a Muslim League Council meeting, while talking about Lahore Resolution, Jinnah stated, "I want Mr. Gandhi, Lord Linlithgow, Mr. Amory and Mr. Churchill to ponder over our resolution which we are passing today deliberately and solemnly. So far as we are concerned there is no going back on it." Jinnah said to the Punjab Muslim Students Federation in Lahore, "Our demand is not from the Hindus because the Hindus never took the whole of India. It was the Muslims who took India and ruled for 700 years. It is the British who took India from the Mussalmans. So, we are not asking the Hindus to give us anything. Our demand is made to the British, who are in possession. If we are agreed on the partition of India, Muslims and Hindus will live peacefully and as friendly neighbors. Muslim India will constitute the post guard of the frontiers of India." Jinnah concluded, "The vital contest in which we are engaged is not only for the material gain but also for the very existence of the soul of the Muslim nation. Hence I have said often that it is a matter of life and death to the Mussalmans and it is not a counter for bargaining." Aligarh University was always the citadel of Muslim separatism. There, Jinnah asserted on the 10th of March 1941, "Pakistan is not only a practicable goal but the only goal if you want to save Islam from complete annihilation in the country." Addressing a meeting of the Muslim Students Federation in Kanpur, now Kanpur, Jinnah remarked that in order to liberate 7 crore Muslims where they were in a majority, he was willing to perform the last ceremony of martyrdom if necessary and let the 2 crores of Muslims be smashed. In 28th annual session of the Muslim League in Madras, now Chennai, Jinnah stated, "We do not want in any circumstances a constitution of an all-India character with one government at the center. We will never agree to that. If we once agree to that, let me tell you, the Muslims will be absolutely wiped out of existence. In this land of yours, Madras Presidency, there is another nation, the Dravidians. The land is actually Dravidistan. I have every sympathy for you and I shall do all I can to support you to establish Dravidistan. Jinnah argued that since the Hindu Mahasabha and the Congress subscribed to the same ideology, that of Akhand Bharat, indivisible India, they both were fanatics. Jawaharlal Nehru had reportedly wondered how the Muslim League could demand forming of a separate Muslim bloc when some Islamic countries had lost their freedom because of the partitioning of Muslim territories after World War I. Jinnah asked Nehru to mind his own business, since he was a Hindu. Jinnah remarked in 29th session of AIML, "Our firm determination and our only goal is one: Pakistan, Pakistan, Pakistan. Now it is not a question of their giving it, Pakistan, but we will take it." 5. The 1941 Census of India. The census presented a breakdown of the Hindu composition in 3 distinct categories, while the sectarian and subsectarian variations present among Muslims were not reported. The Sikhs too were classified as one community. The total population of directly administered areas of India, known as British India, was over 294 million. It comprised over 150 million caste Hindus, nearly 40 million scheduled caste Hindus and over 4 million scheduled tribe Hindus. Muslims were over 79 million and Sikhs over 4 million. 6. American influence on the British government. The British were under pressure from the Americans to take measures to transfer power to Indian hands, something which Prime Minister Churchill found unpalatable, but British needed American support. Churchill sent Sir Stafford Cripps to India in March 1942 to probe the possibility of a transfer of power to the Indians within the framework of a dominion. Both the Congress and the Muslim League rejected them, the former wanting independence in a united India and the latter separate statehood. Keeping in mind the Japanese attack on the U.S. naval base of Pearl Harbor, Jinnah told International News Service of America that if the Muslims were given guarantees of independent Muslim states, the 100 million Muslims, men, women and children, would fight Japanese aggression tooth and nail, alongside the British. Jinnah recognized the importance of gaining the support of the United States once it began economic and military aid to the British. Jinnah was already making an offer to the Americans to evaluate Pakistan in terms of its geostrategic importance. He further said, Hindu 3/4 of India where a policy of non-cooperation and non-violence with enemy is proclaimed includes strategic ports of Madras and Bombay. Muslim populations region, where the people will fight aggression perfectly with proper arms, but lacking that with bare hands, includes Karachi, Chittagong and Calcutta which are nearest to Burma where the Japanese are massed. 7. Dr. Ambedkar's position on Pakistan. In 1941, the first edition of his book, Thoughts on Pakistan, was published. Basing himself on the Lahore Resolution, he argued that Muslims' claim of being a nation was reasonable. He considered Gandhi's efforts to build Hindu-Muslim unity futile and dismissed the widely held view of Hindus that Pakistan was only a bargaining chip the Muslim League and Jinnah were using. He argued that since Islamic law, Sharia, was considered divinely revealed, Muslim society was especially resistant to reform of outdated norms and practices, such as attitudes toward women. He stated, "The Brotherhood of Islam is not the universal brotherhood of man. It is brotherhood of Muslims for Muslims only. For those who are outside the corporation, there is nothing but contempt and enmity." Later, Dr. Ambedkar reversed his position by arguing that Muslims already had a Pakistan in those areas where they were in a majority. Therefore, there was no rational basis for creating Pakistan. He asserted that the communal problem until 1937 was not such that it required the partition of India. Communal differences existed in other countries as well, but the breakup of countries to resolve them had not been the only solution.